Hi Igor. So how are you doing?
Hi, Yana. I'm fine. What about you? How's it going on in Argentina?
Yeah, that's everything. Everything's fine. I'm glad to introduce one more time Yegor Lapshov. He's an expert and specialist in Web 3.0 and all other technologies which is connected to blockchain. And now we decided to talk with Yegor about the future of decentralization, the future of internet. So it's future, future, future. So anyway, uh, so I pass you the word. So let's maybe you can introduce yourself too.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Yegor, and my path into digital work started with university. I studied digital cultures. I did my master's in digital cultures. It's kind of like a mix of marketing, sociology, and all these digital cultural issues. And then I started to work in agency, which created advertising campaigns for many different international brands. And I learned a lot about blockchain. And then I started to work in different startups and help it to improve creative part of the project, marketing part, PR part, and also business development. And now I'm mostly focused on business development and marketing part of Web3 projects. So I work only with Web3 projects, and I help different brands to make the first steps into Web3 world, into the metaverse, into NFTs, and now since I think few months I started to learn more about Web4, and I think this is the topic of our today's stream. And it started from the question of Fayana, and she asked me to talk about artificial intelligence, and then I realized that artificial intelligence is something which is the core of Web4. But I think that first we should start from Web3 and from the trends of technologies which
Yeah,
we have now. Yeah.
yeah, that's what I wanted to propose because actually I think that a lot of people, for now they doesn't know like what like if 3.0 that it's already here, you know. So and we're talking. And we're going to talk something more advanced. So let's talk from the beginning. You know what's happening in the internet now. What is 2.0, 3.0? So for people maybe who doesn't know, like any of these like details, can you please explain what does it mean?
Sure, absolutely. Now we are living at the beginning of Web3 era of the internet. It's the third evolution of the internet, the third part of the evolution. Like the first step was Web 1. It was from 1985 till more or less 2005, and it was very mundane, and it was very obvious, let's say, and there was nothing to explore. It was only text, and it was only 2D content, and people mostly share it via emails. And then comes
I remember that. I remember that time, so that we had just emails, and we were consumers of internet. I think that was idea.
yeah, the speed of internet was so slow, and you couldn't even watch a short video. It took.
Wow, video, and like you couldn't even listen to the music. I'm not I'm not
Yeah,
talking about the video. So that's okay. So and
there
what's
was
happened
no,
next? Like
yeah, there was no even streaming or social media. And then Web 2 comes at the year of 2005 with exploring of social media like Facebook or MySpace. back in the days it was popular. And the difference from Web 1 was that Web 2 had much more multimedia content, and it was very easy to share it, and the speed of internet increased uh, increased a lot. And at the same time, the core of this internet was social media, and it started to evolve into something we use now. And Web 2 was mostly about videos and very appealing content, like websites uh, changed, and the websites started to be with multimedia, with photos and videos. And also we started to use streaming platforms like Spotify and SoundCloud, because it was possible with the increase of the speed of the internet.
Okay. So, what's happening now? Like, why is 3.0? Why not 3.1, 3.5 version? And now we jump on the Web 4, like, even didn't taste like the Web 3. So, what's happening now? What, like maybe we can talk about the trends.
Actually, we are living in the Web 2.5, I would say, not Web 3, because Web 3 is something which works in a very specific, let's say, way, because it's not so comfortable, and it isn't so convenient as Web 2. And but it has many advantages, and at the same time many downsides. So Web3 is the evolution of the new era of the evolution of the internet, which contains decentralized networks like blockchain, which is much more secured, and it has much more freedom. So let's say it's like Web 1, the freedom of Web 1, with some advantages of Web 2. So it has a lot of multimedia content, and it's much more safe for the people, and it's possible to use it with only application with only one application needed. You need only crypto wallets to connect to any website, and you can be anonymous, which you can't actually do in Web 2. And in Web 2, you need different accounts like Google account or mail account to connect. And the corporations like Meta or like Amazon can track your data in a much more sophisticated way rather than in Web 1. And Web 3 gives
Let's.
you and Web 3 gives you the opportunity to be anonymous again. It gives
Mhm.
you the opportunity uh, to use only crypto wallets, and you can do much more things without being controlled from by the corporations or by the government, and that's the point. At the same time, there are few technologies which also contains Web3. For example, NFTs. It's a unique certificate of authentication of anything, so you can sell anything which is content. Let's say you can everything you see in the internet can be tokenized and can be sold, and it's a huge difference because you can be sure that your content belongs to you, and that nobody can take it from you, can steal it from you, unless you connect your wallet to any fraudulent site. And that's the point, because it gives the creators the tools to sell and to monetize their talent and their time as never before. Because, for example, I'll give you a short example as you asked me.
Yeah, that's please. I think that, yeah, with examples that would be easier to understand.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it makes sense. For example, in Spotify, you gain only from 5 till 10% of the revenue the platform makes on your content. And if you
Mm-hmm.
sell it in NFT, you can gain from 90 until 100%. It's like market level of percentage is from 0 till 10%, and it's a huge difference, and it makes sense for many people who create any digital content. With the blockchain and with Web3, many people could sell their works and they couldn't do it before. For example, if you're a digital artist, you're only digital artist, and you wasn't able to sell anything. Okay, you was, but in a very uh, in a very inconvenient way, and without any uh, clear technology. And now in Web3, you can sell NFTs without any problems, and you can sell whatever you want in these NFTs, and it
But
changed the game. Yeah.
But I am thinking that now it's so easy to sell NFT. Last year I could agree with you, but this year, like, do you need actually? If it's easy to sell NFT without any marketing, because it seems to me that now, like, in order to sell any NFT, you need to invest, like a lot, to promote that, and if at the like. Um, at the end, like, will you get the same amount as we're talking now, like, because I think that the market a little bit has changed, like, for something that was last year, if it's really possible now to get so much money making selling NFTs. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a nice one, and you're absolutely right. Now, it's much more harder to sell anything in the format of NFTs. But I'm speaking about theory and about the possibility to use the technology. For sure, if you even if it's like the rules of market and the rules of any sales, if you don't invest into marketing, if you don't have, let's say, a team of different professionals who help you to promote, who help you to sell, and all this stuff, you won't be able to sell anything before NFT, at the time of NFT, or after NFT. For sure, you need a lot of things to for sure you need to improve a lot of things before you get money. But at the same time, like now, as I see it, there are much more new ways to use NFTs, and there are a plethora of methods to use NFTs in different spheres, which was not possible before. For example, music NFTs. I know a guy who sold 2 millions of music NFTs, and he told me that if he released and dropped his music in Spotify on Apple Music, he would get at least 10 or 100 times less. And now there are many different spheres which are empty in sense of using Web3. So I would say that for sure you are right, and if you just drop a random picture of anything, you wouldn't be as successful as you could be, like, let's say, 1 year ago, because the time has changed.
So okay, so now we come closer, to a definition about Web 4. About Web 3, so we already understand something, but Web 4, what is that? Like, which criteria we can use to describe, of Web 4, and when this time will come, and we'll find ourselves that now we use not Web 3, but now we'll be using Web 4.
I can say that we use Web3 even now, as I told you before. Like, I think we use Web 2.5, and probably mass audience will use Web3 in few years, maybe like 5 years or something. And I think that speaking about Web4, we should start from the key point of Web3. The key word of Web3 is decentralization. And decentralization is the core of any blockchain projects because they tend to be decentralized. But this advantage of being decentralized uh, plays uh, plays let's say so difficult role into constructing the reality, because if you have a lot of decentralized systems like different blockchains, different systems which are not connected to each other, different metaverses which are not tend to be the same format, it's so hard to promote it. It's so hard to make it visible and to make it uh, popular, because
Mhm.
to use one platform you need to learn a lot of things if you are one-on-one user, if you need to start from scratch. And it's like, for example, if in web 2 uh, I can explain you it's in web 2 terms. It's like if you need to listen to music now, you would have let's say few different formats of audio, and you need to learn how to use mp3, you need to learn how to use mp like something and one more format, and it makes listening the music and promoting and developing the platforms very hard. But now we use only one format, and it makes it very easy to promote, and that's why we use like different platforms, and you don't see these edges between the platforms because you don't think about it. And in web 4, this downside of decentralization of web 3 uh, will be solved, because the key word of web 4 is interoperability. It means that different decentralized systems will be connected to each other. So, for example, if you buy one digital wearable in one metaverse, you would be able to use it in another metaverse. If you buy a token or NFT in one blockchain, you will be able to use it in any other platform, and you don't need to use all these bridges, all these
Yeah.
absolutely friendly for user experience systems, and you won't need to think of if you use blockchain or you don't use it, because all these platforms, all these blockchains, all these systems will be connected in one interoperable system. And that's the key point of web 4 according to scientists, according to experts, and I tend to believe them. And there are few other things which contains Web 4, few other technologies. For example, artificial intelligence would be at the core of Web 4. The Internet of Things would be very popular in Web 4, and there are few other things which become much more popular, and of course it will contain all the technologies we use in web3 now, like nfts, the metaverse, blockchain, and dao, all these things. So it's kind of the key idea of web4 is that all the technologies we have in web3 will be widely used and would converge into one interoperable system. Uh, I don't know if I explained it clear, but I tried explaining it clear, and probably it would be easier if I make an example of using Web 4, how I see it. For example, there are a lot of mundane activities you do throughout your life. For example, you can search for real estate. You can search for a dating partner, and it takes a long time to find a good flat and a good partner on the digital platforms. But for now, you can't outsource it to anyone. But in Web 4, we would have a much more sophisticated profile of ourselves, which was created with the help of artificial intelligence, and we would have an avatar of which would be much more developed rather than our social media profiles now. And you can add different things you find important. For example, you can easily create a system which will understand which partner do you need or which flat do you need, and you can outsource the searching of a partner or a flat to artificial intelligence. And for example, as you have an assistant whom you explain that, okay, I need a flat in the city center on the high floor, let's say not less than 20th floor. I need a good renovation and I need a swimming pool. And you can say that I can pay, like, let's say $1,000 and go to find something similar. And that's it. And your artificial intelligence avatar will go into the forest of internet, into the forest of advertising, and start to search for the flat. And once it found it, it started to communicate with the avatar of a seller and start to negotiate on their price and all the facilities, on the requirements, all this legal stuff. And when it's done, it's just come back and tell you, okay, see what I found. Like there is a list of the flats you can rent, and you can just sign okay and done. It's not possible now, but it will be possible in Web 4, and it will be possible with all this interoperable system and with artificial intelligence. Uh,
Yeah,
that's the case.
I'm sure. So, but that's a little bit some kind of personal question. How do you use it now? The technologies like of because all of us were have that vision. No, that's not now. It will be in future, future, future. But some kind of future is now. Maybe like how is your daily life, your Web 3 or future Web 4 helps you. Maybe to be more productive, or I don't know, to date with someone, or like how you, like do you have any technology that now you can show, that we can use now, like of course, like everyone know about chat GPT, but maybe some other stuff, that we can I don't know, feel it right now, not just like see it in future. Maybe some startup, maybe like something that maybe we can go and check by ourselves how it will work. For sure, maybe not in 100% for now, but just to catch the idea.
Sure. There are few key points of Web 4 I didn't mention before, and I could explain it with the help of examples of startups, which and
Mhm.
the notions which are developing at the moment. For example, one more very, very important thing in Web 4 is phygital. Phygital means physical and digital, like the
Mhm.
connection of physical and digital calls phygital. And
Okay.
phygital is it's the thing which is the notion which describes how we will communicate with each other in the era of Web 4. And now there are, for example, like a huge industry of digital fashion. And digital fashion is a bright example of digital things, of digital industry, because
Mhm.
when a certain brand creates a pair of shoes, in phygital world, it can be reproducted into the metaverse with the help of digital copies of physical sneakers. So it's happening now, and I think that's it's the future of the internet and the future of our communication. And also, I would say neurochips. Neurochips is the technology. It's like it is the interface between our brain and digital world. So let's say now we need a smartphone or a laptop to connect to the internet, and at least we need to use a voice assistant. If we don't need to tap anything, we need to use voice assistant. So we need to make some actions to come to the internet. And with the help of neurochips, with the help of neuro interfaces, we will be able to. It can sound freaky and it can sound futuristic, but this industry developing now. So with the help of neuro interfaces, we can control the internet with the help of our minds. So just thinking of something, and
Yeah, it
the,
sounds scary. If
it,
someone
and
will control us with that neurochip,
it's
like that.
it's the other question. But the key feature of neuro chips technology and neuro interfaces is Elon Musk, and he's a key feature of this industry. And his startup develop this industry and develop this science, develop these ideas in a very profound way, and they even tried it on animals, and it worked. So I think we could wait for something new, and neurochips will be the key interface of Web4. And uh, I think that's two examples of industries of Web4 which are developing now. And also the Internet of Things, which is the key point of Web4, is absolutely developing right now. We have all these voice assistants, and we have the internet even in our fridge, even like in our watches, everywhere. And researchers say that we will have 30 billion Internet of Things devices around the world in only 2 years. So just imagine where internet will be, and you can understand the whole picture. And I will try to explain the whole picture of all these converge of the technologies. So you can think of breakfast, and with the help of neurochip, you can send a request to your fridge or to your special device for preparing food, and it can create anything you need, and it will take into the consideration the things you liked before, your emotions, and the things you like, let's say, in the metaverse, and create the unique, absolutely unique piece of culinary art to imagine you, to amaze yourself, to amaze you. And it can be their explanation and the case of using Web4 into the future. And it's not something of the fantastic novels, because I think that the technology we use now were absolutely not possible to imagine even 20 or 10 years ago. And you can read on Web4, you can research this topic, and I recommend you to do it, because if you understand now the strategy of development and the possibilities of development of Web3 and Web4, you would be able and you would be ready to embrace it and to use it and to embed it into your life. But I think the main downside and uh, the main thing I am worried about and I'm afraid of is that all this technology, as you said before, could be used against us and could be hacked and could be misused.
Yes,
And
I can control us.
that's the,
We will be thinking that we control any machine, to make a breakfast for us, but maybe that machine will control us. That could be opposite, that the thing that makes most of the people scary, and even now, like if you see, like I have a lot of friends that they are try to be how to say, like try to be careful what they put in the internet, because all the information you put, that's it's already there. And with all the technologies, that they can track your eyes, and with neurochip, unfortunately they can track what you think, maybe, or some that the thing that makes a little bit complicated, maybe for the beginning, for
absolutely.
mass adoption,
We live in the Black
because for
Mirror
now,
world.
yes, yeah, because when you were talking about the machine, that I was emerging myself, that I'm laying on the bed, in the morning, and I'm just thinking a machine is going to, or I don't know, prepare something that I want. But on the other hand, if I'm thinking something bad or wrong, it could be interpreted in a different way as well. Like, or I don't know, maybe I don't like my neighbor, so machine will go to that neighbor, or I don't know. Like, I think that it's a lot of field, like it's a lot of things, like it's a lot of
Absolutely.
ethical and philosophical things with
Absolutely,
that.
and we can talk on that for another days or weeks. And there is the question of philosophy, of sociology, of the development of ethics uh, after technological revolution, and like it's it's a huge topic which could be researched much more. Yeah,
But anyways, Igor, thank you very much for this. Like that, you were help us to jump a little bit in future, to jump and to try to uncover, what does it mean Web 4, and properly next time when we'll meet ourselves, we can talk about Web 5, like, and just to like just to put our imagination,
let's do
what is
2 years. Yeah,
like. But anyway, like the technology goes so fast, like, and like, even I don't know, a couple months ago no one used artificial intelligence in everyday work, and now with the chat GPT and some other, I don't know, mid journey, like everyone use it, like almost not everyone, but many people use it, like in everyday life, and increase their productively. And so that's why, like, now, same time, like, maybe social medias at the beginning for people who have never used them before as well sounds something like weird, but anyways, so everyone is use it. Like, now it's difficult to immersion, the life of our kids, without social media, the same will be, so the same will be, so for a chat,
yeah,
so I think that we can as well meet in a couple months and check, so what's new, what's in this area. So, and I remind that with us was
absolutely.
Yegor Lapshov. He's an expert and specialist in Web3 and blockchain technology. So thank you.
Thank you, Ayana, and thank you everybody for listening. And hope to see you somewhere in the Web 4.
Bye.